Hi there, it's Ricky from Moshville Times here once again. This time I'm delighted to welcome drummer Stuart and guitarist vocalist Andy from Liverpool-based band Scare Tactics. Now, in my opinion, Scare Tactics have the groove of Pantera, Devin Townsend and Gojira, but when it comes to the clean singing, they sound like the Dirt era Alice in Chains, which I especially like with the songs like Remain, for example. I would urge you all to check it out on YouTube. But listen, guys, it's an absolute pleasure seeing you. So how have you guys been through COVID, all your friends and family and your jobs and everything okay?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're some of the only people who never actually had to stop working.
Yeah.
Everyone else is working at home and we're grafting and lugging and moving and pushing. It's been a pain in the arse.
Yeah, work's been relentless. There's been, been a lot of ups and downs for us.
Personal life, it's been rocky.
Yeah, been grim, but you come through at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But it's been up and down.
Ah, cool. Well, delighted to hear it, and I'm delighted to interview you. And let's just talk about music. We're not interested in that COVID stuff, but with it almost all but over, your debut album was released in 2015. So, have you guys been using this time constructively and written more songs, new songs?
We would like to have been more constructive than we were, but oddly enough, half an hour before we started this, we were basically wrapping up the core structure of a new song. So there is new stuff coming. There's been new stuff we've had for a while, but not recorded yet.
Okay.
And not long before the C Word started, we were looking at going into pre-production for an EP. And then obviously it all went to hell and that never happened. But myself, I've spent nearly £1,000 on stuff to record at home. Wow. So I might be able to do drum demos at least and start doing like pre-production stuff pre-actual recording. So that'll give us somewhere like a head start when we do get to record.
Yeah. So so the drums then for the next album or next EP won't be like your kitchen pots and pans then, it'll actually be some good.
No, Lars Ulrich kind of put us off that idea.
No, that's cool. So was it always that the next release going to be an EP, or did discuss no, it's been a good number of years, let's release an album, or do you think an EP is just right at this right time?
We just don't really think we have enough new material really to get an album done. So
working on it, but
we are working on it, but maybe we just wanted to get the new stuff that we have now out there as quickly as possible because we haven't done anything for so long. So we just wanted to get some stuff out there as soon as possible. So EP was probably the best route for us.
Yeah.
Before Legion was released, we did a 2-track EP, and the 2 tracks on the EP featured with a better production quality on the album. So what we do next might be a similar kind of thing.
Yeah, cool. So with the next EP then, and your songs, well, started writing, how would you say it compares to the sound of that of your debut album then?
I think it still sounds Tactics. Yeah, they all still sound like us. Just they're slightly less typical metal, and they've definitely got the more anthemic Devin feel to it, rather than they're leaning more towards that airy ambient side of metal rather than the aggressive metal. Yeah, it's I don't want to say softened, but it's pulled back ever so slightly, maybe just with a couple of the new ones.
They breathe a little bit more is the only way I could say it.
Yeah,
a little bit more breathing space. Yeah.
Is this because you're getting a wee bit older, you're getting less aggressive with things?
Possibly.
Maybe. Or it's just what's come out. We never write.
We never force anything.
Yeah. We've got to write a heavy song. We've got to write really heavy this. It's just what comes, and that's just how we write always.
Yeah. I mean, we've done songs in the past where whole song done dusted. We spent 3-4 months writing it, and we go, oh, actually, that sounds crap. We're not going to play that anymore.
Yeah.
It's just what happens. It sounds great when you're writing it. When it's finished, actually, no, it's not us.
Yeah. It's like you say, though, if you're doing like a 2-track EP, I might include 2 softer songs just now, but when it comes to doing the album, you might have another 6, 7, 8 songs that are again heavier and more in sound with your debut album, but fresher.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Who knows? So yeah, definitely looking forward to hearing it. So because obviously you weren't allowed to see each other and things like that, how were you communicating your ideas to each other?
WhatsApp's been a godsend.
Yeah, usually we just any ideas that we come up with, we just send little videos to each other, little snippets, little ideas. That was honestly the best way for us to to get it to each other.
Yeah, it's beyond vocal lines and guitar. I've sent them drum tracks that I like. So here's a drum piece I quite like. Write a guitar riff around it. And it goes every way.
Is it something that you've done before, or is it only because of COVID that you've had to diversify and try new ways?
I think we've always done it.
Like that. Yeah, it's just a really quick, convenient way to pass off what we're coming up with, individually.
Yeah. So Stuart, is Andy the type of guy that will send you a guitar riff at 4 o'clock in the morning then?
He is, but fortunately, I turn my phone off at night.
Not that bad. If I do come up with something like that, I will send it.
To be fair, that early you're getting up for work anyway, so
yeah.
That's brilliant, guys. But with the recording of your debut album, Legion, then, will there be anything that you'll be taking going forward? And I'm meaning like with the recording, the way that the album was recorded and taking that forward to your next releases?
I think the best thing we did for recording Legion, because it actually wasn't finished 100% when we went in to record it. We finished a couple of tracks during the recording process. But the thing we did before we went into the studio was the guy who produced it was the same guy who did our 2-track EP before, like the time record before. And he basically came to a couple of our practices and he was like, okay, recording wise, what do you want? He basically helped us clean up certain parts for the recording process. So I think that kind of element of pre-production actually really helped us when we got into the studio. So that'd be the one thing I'd really take from it, because I think it's definitely saved us a load of time.
Yeah, just more preparation with the songwriting is just key. You've just got to go in so you know exactly what you're doing. Yeah. All your overdubs, all your overlays, everything. As long as you know what you're doing, then it just makes the whole process quicker.
Yeah, and recording time is money. Unless you're recording for yourself, going into a studio, like a good studio, it costs a lot of money.
Yeah. So when was the last time you were actually together as a band?
Full band a week or two ago. Last week. Was
that a case of that you looked at each other and you're like, who are you again? What instrument is it you play?
It's weird because obviously we're brothers, so we're kind of used to seeing each other more often. But our bass player and guitarist, they both got kids and young kids at that. So during the whole COVID time, we didn't see a great deal of them. So yeah, during COVID, I think we probably had a year out, probably a whole year out.
Yeah, maybe even longer. Yeah.
So how did it feel getting back in the rehearsal studio then?
It was great, but also strange. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really. I took it short sabbatical playing drums for personal reasons, but I still try and play as often as I can. I know you took longer, and I think our bass player, because obviously first time father, so a lot of us were rusty. Yeah, it was rusty coming back together.
Yeah.
It's not, the more we get back into it, the
easier it'll get.
Yeah, exactly.
So Andy, I mean, I know that you can just pick up your guitar and just write riffs any time of the day, anytime you want. But Stuart, how did it feel for you getting behind your drum kit again? Were you like, what do I do now, or was it just, oh, I'm so glad to be back?
Well, it's weird for me because I do a similar thing in Liverpool that Badger does in Manchester. Anyone who needs a drummer in a slightly rocky band, they come to me. So I record an album for another band just before Christmas. I've got another guy called Dan Moran who does a lot of independent stuff himself. I've played with him. I've had another guy from Attic Theory asked me if I was interested in playing some of their stuff. So although Tactics weren't going, I had enough to do.
Yeah. So you were pretty much prostituting yourself out to other bands then?
100%.
Yeah.
I don't mind it. I've had this conversation before with my girlfriend because I'll stress myself out doing it. So I've got to learn all these songs and there's so many and I've got 3 weeks to learn. And I said, why'd you do it? It's like, I just love playing drums.
It's not a bad thing really, is it? It's good to be wanted and needed, I guess.
It's good. Appreciated.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, I know you guys don't.
So I take it, Stuart, then you were quite fresh then when you went behind your drum kit in the studio and stuff like that. You were fresh. It's not as if you were not playing for like 6 months then.
Do you mean for COVID or when we went to record?
No, just like when you went back into the studios last week.
No, I was okay. Like I said, I've spent a lot of money recently, like building a rig to try and like start recording like myself at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, last thing I want to do is actually record it and go, oh my god, I'm terrible. So I need to keep practicing.
So and yeah, so Andy, I take it like you played, well, you rehearsed some Scare Tactics songs then when you were back in the studio, but were there any mistakes? And who was the guilty party?
Everyone, everyone, but mainly Danny.
I mean, yeah, red light fever is a real thing. Like you can play for days in your room on your own, and as soon as you've got one person watching you can crumble easily.
Yeah.
But I mean, when we did record, it wasn't that bad. I was okay. We did well.
Yeah. Tom put us at ease.
Tom, yeah, the engineer was great. Like, yeah, just as long as you're comfortable in what you're doing, then yeah, we were fine.
In the end, yeah.
Couple of takes on a couple of solos, but we were cool.
Yeah, cool. Thanks very much for that, guys. So talking about the songs then, so how are they constructed in the studio? I mean, are they the main songwriters of the songs, or Scare Tactics, the bands where all members contribute?
We all contribute, to be fair. One of the songs we last wrote that we were going to record on this EP was all based around a drum line. You provide like 95% of the lyrics. Yeah. Danny was actually the guy behind the main riff and Remain.
Yeah.
And Marty, it's hard to say with Marty. I'm sure he will do, but technically, although he's been in the band like 3 years, he's new because for 2 of those years we've been in lockdown. But he's got bags and bags of stuff he's waiting to throw at us. He's played us snippets, but we've not had the chance to really delve into it. Yeah. So yeah, it's 100% a 4-way collaborative process.
Ah, cool. So how would you say you keep it all together then? Like, for example, when negotiating what goes in and what goes out of a song then?
I think when something's wrong, you just know. Yeah. You play it through. As I said earlier, we've completed songs before and then they've just ended up in the bin because we just didn't like it. So something's not feeling right or sounding right, you can just tell.
Yeah. I'm not afraid if like Stu plays a drum beat that I'll just go, no, I don't want that. No. Yeah. And I'm not afraid to have those guys say, no, I'm not too sure on that, or I'm not like this. So it's just, we all not pick and choose, but we can be quite decisive. It was like, I'm not too keen on that. If one person isn't 100% on it, usually we will work on that part.
Yeah. Well, see, to be honest with you, I'm quite disappointed in your answers there because I was expecting like blood on the walls and fisticuffs in the studio and stuff.
Oh no, we're totally easy going with that stuff.
And we're too old for that shit now. We're brothers. We spent 20 years fighting. We don't need to do that anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty easy going with the writing with that stuff.
Yeah. So
it's probably part of the reason we take so long.
Yeah. And I was about to say, with the newer material then, and not seeing the other guitarist and the bassist, did they bring their own ideas last week? And you were like, this is a good start of a song. We're going to use this.
Guitarist, yes. Bass playing, no. But again, I think it's hard to, especially for our genre, to lead a song around a bass riff. Not say it hasn't happened. Like say, that main riff and Remain was Danny's idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's first time dad, and I think he's got a new job recently and moved as well. So he's had a busy year himself. So
yeah, so we don't hold him against him if he's not as what's the word?
Product. Yeah. We'll go with that. Yeah. We love you, Danny.
But he picks up really quickly what we together will have written without him. So that's always a bonus. He can always jump in pretty easily.
Well, the one good thing about your band is, one of the good things about your band is it's relatively stable. I mean, I think you've only had a drummer change. Last
I've been here the whole time.
Yeah. So that's the foundations of new material, new songs, and the signs of a good band working together. So you're not a typical rock and roll band and just fighting each other all the time. You're actually constructive, which is good.
Well, it is.
I think the main thing with us is obviously this band was formed from the remnants of 3 other bands from Liverpool at the time. Me and Andrew were in a band called Hollow Point at the time, and we've always been like the 2 core members. So I think everyone else who's joined on is kind of mainly following what we're doing. Yeah. So I the core of what we do, writing wise and how we sound, I'll always feel revolves around myself and Andrew, because
it's just the way it's always been for us.
Yeah. Well, I'll say Eddie Van Halen and Alex Van Halen and Vinnie Paul and Dimebag. I think there's a thing about brothers and writing music together.
Yeah. Can't argue with that at all. But Andy, with you being the main vocalist of the band then, do you write all the lyrics for the songs, or do you welcome contributions from other members of the band?
I would say I do write majority of all the lyrics, but that's just a personal thing. Like I have to believe in something that I'm singing about and think about what I'm actually saying. So if someone else gives me ideas that I'm not maybe wholeheartedly over, it'll be difficult for me to maybe convey that out in a song. So I will generally use my own lyrics. But if they've got ideas, I'm happy for them to give them to me and I'll just put them in the bin. But they can still, pass them over.
Totally your lyrics, man. Totally saying your words.
That was quite brutal there. That was quite brutal. But no, but imagine though, when you're writing your lyrics, you're also imagining how you're going to be singing it. Like when you're going to sing clean, when you're going to sing harsh. By the way, that's quite a bit of a talent as well, especially on the live front, being able to change it from harsh vocals to clean vocals in a split second. So you do that very well.
Thank you. I think that's one of the vocals especially is one of the main things that's kind of helped us not sound like other bands.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. I've not gone to many gigs and seen bands who do the vocals the same way we do. I mean, I know you said it sounds the softer stuff is very Alice in Chainsy. It does sound Alice in Chainsy, but it's not. I don't see anyone else do it and actually utilize like harmonies in the correct musical way. Get 2 people singing and that's fine. But doing the actual notation correctly, I just don't see it very often.
Yeah.
No, not in our genre anyway.
Yeah. And I know one of the things that I love seeing in the live front is more than one vocalist. So the fact that you've got 2 vocalists in the band as well, I take it the other vocalist doesn't come in much. But see when they do, I mean, I'm a wee bit more into extreme stuff. Like see the band Nile, they had 3 vocalists. Yeah. And seeing that live and hearing it live, I think it just adds so much diversity to a song, having more than one vocalist.
Well, if you've got 3 different people, it's very rare you get 2 people who sing the same way. So you've got 3 different options straight away.
Yeah.
And you could have the same riff and just 3 people could sing the same line. And just for how they feel like they need to sing it, it'll sound completely different.
Yeah. Do you hear that, Andy? I think Stuart's volunteering himself to do backing vocals.
No. We've tried it. It's no longer allowed. It's been banned.
He can totally have a mic and talk if he wants to, but vocals, no. He can stick to drums. Yeah. But so our last guitarist, he was a singer in another band as well. So that's how we started off with the harmony vocals with the harmony guitars. So it really helped develop our sound, just having another actual singer. Our new guitarist is a singer, but he wasn't maybe singing as much in his other band, so that's something that we will be working on a lot more together, just to get that sound back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Was it always your intention then to get like another guitarist vocalist, or did it just happen by accident?
Yeah, when we went looking for another guitarist, it was like a requirement.
Yeah, you have to be able to at least attempt to sing,
hold a note. Yeah.
Because the harmony for our band, I wouldn't say it's difficult anyway. Like most people could sing it anyway, but
it's a key that we need. Yeah.
We just had to have someone who was comfortable doing it as well. Because you get some people back and singing and they're a little bit static with it, or they shy away from it. Whereas we need someone who's basically a singer as well.
Yeah, it's there are points where it's not your lead vocal, he's second vocal. It's there are 2 vocalists.
Yeah.
So we needed someone comfortable with that.
Because again, it's a talent, like playing your guitar, but at the same time singing and making sure that you hit the right notes. You don't know, you've got 2 things to focus on at the same time. So it's quite, again, it's a talent. So
it's It's just one of those. It's just practice, really. You just have to practice doing it.
But we definitely got lucky pulling Marty in.
Yeah.
But maybe Stuart can't be the backing. Well, what we're saying then is Stuart can't be the backing vocalist then because he's not that talented. That's what we're saying.
True.
No.
So listen, guys. Obviously, with what happened in the last year or so, there was nothing on the live front or gigging front. So, what plans did you have that got shelved? Then, did you have plans for a UK tour or anything like that? Just keeping the name out there.
I mean, we're at the point now where we're trying to pick and choose more gigs. We definitely didn't have any plans for a tour wise, but I mean, we dropped a few decent sized festival gigs, which are now happening next year. So not even this summer, next year. But other than that, just, you know, the typical gigs, you know, this club in this city and stuff, but not even many of them. We didn't lose a great deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're definitely at the point now where, you know, I've got this pub I want you to play. It's like, we'll pick and choose them more carefully. Yeah. We're after more established gigs, basically. Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with playing, like, you know, pub gigs or anything, but we just do like to kind of say, well, you know, if it's on a Monday night in, you know, Bristol, we're not doing it.
Yeah, so we've all got full-time jobs, so it's one of them. We can't commit to, like, you know, a 20-day UK tour unless the right band came along. Say, I don't know, Skindred or Gojira said, you know, we want you to support us for a week. Yeah, 100%, week's holiday, no problem. Yeah. But your general tour, we'd have to be really careful about how we did it.
Yeah, cool. Well, I suppose the only good thing that you can take about it is you're not behind anybody else. Every band is in the same situation as yourself, so it's not as if you're lagging behind or anything like that. But it's good to see my Facebook pages getting lined up with posters again, you know. So what are you guys just concentrating on new material first and maybe just like one or two gigs which we'll talk about later?
I think that's been like the idea of the last couple of practices, actually. I say, we spent this day, like earlier this evening, basically rounding off the whole foundation. So basically the guys will just need to come in and write and remember their parts, and there's a new song basically done in the first few weeks after lockdown.
That's our main focus now, is just bang out 4 or 5 new songs that we've got, like, you know, in the way,
half written or bits of
Have you thought of? I've seen quite a number of bands, especially in the Manchester area. In fact, I was watching one earlier, Kioma from Finland, kind of progressive metal as well. They done like a live stream from their rehearsal studio. Is that something that you thought of as well?
We did think of it, yeah, we did, but I guess just
logistically,
it just wasn't. We weren't able to at the time, and there was things going on that, you know, maybe we just weren't up to it, or there wasn't really anywhere that we could go to do it. I know a lot of people did it in Manchester, because we saw like loads of bands doing it in Manchester, but we never got on that train to do it, if you get it.
Yeah, I mean, we could have done it, but it would have been really rough to watch. We're talking like a phone camera in a 10-foot practice room, and the sound would have been, it wouldn't have been worth us doing it. It made us look like fools, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Logistically, it just wasn't possible to do to the quality we would have liked to put out.
Yeah, I would imagine it would have been strange for Andy as well, being at the front and having nobody to look at, nobody to interact with. You're usually at the back anyway, Stuart, so it might not be too bad for you, but I would imagine it would be more challenging for Andy, you know.
Yeah, so just singing at a brick wall.
Yeah.
Or the Jessica Alba poster.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it would obviously be more enjoyable to do it with people in front. You
get that feedback.
Yeah, half of our music it bounces off the crowd. Well, I feel it does anyway. Like, just having that little bit of interaction, it does make us
play better,
I guess, as well. So yeah, it would have been a little bit not weird, but weird. Different. Yeah.
Well, hopefully it won't be too long before you're out in a live environment again. I was about to ask if you played across the border up here in Scotland, but you played Wildfire a couple of years ago, did you not?
We did, yeah. 2019 we played Wildfire, yeah.
So how did you find that?
Yeah. That was, aside from the midges outside, that that was actually good fun. We didn't sleep because we got put up in, there's a little gym down the way, like a little.
Where we were, we just ended up having to sleep in like a school gym almost, just down the road. But it was great.
Yeah, it was loads of fun. It was.
All the people were, great, loved us. All the bands that we
were up there with Vice,
Yes, we were up there with Vice, who were playing Badgerfest as well. So had a few beers with those guys. It was great. It was really good fun.
It was good. Yeah, I'd like to go back actually. Gavin from Ethan were there as well.
Oh yeah, of course, Promethean.
Yeah, I think. Did you say Burning the Dream? What did you say there?
Burning the Dream.
I thought you said the band Burning the Dream, because they played it as well, and I love Burning the Dream. Brilliant Glasgow.
Oh no.
No, we didn't catch those. I mean, we played with Vice a lot, so as soon as we see Vice at a place, we're just with them for most of the afternoon after that point.
Yeah, Wildfire was a good festival. It was like family run. You can take. I knew my mate Simon and Mandy. They took like their 6-year-old and their 9-year-old, and at the same time you had the big bikers there, and it was such a friendly atmosphere.
It's brilliant.
It was a well
when we played, we must have had about 5 or 6 like kids.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
With the big head cans on, just like. It was great. Yeah, it was really cool.
I'd play that one again if we got invited. I'd loads of fun. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Brilliant. But we're now going to be talking about another festival then that I know that you guys are playing in October. Obviously it's Badgerfest, so is this another gig you're looking forward to playing?
Yeah, massively. Yeah, John's done an absolute. He started it about 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah,
and it's just gotten bigger and bigger every year. So yeah, we're really chuffed. He actually asked us to play it.
It's got to the point for him now where instead of him looking for bands to fill it, he's just getting swamped with bands, which is obviously what every promoter or festival maker wants. Which is it's amazing. It's great for him.
It helps that you're such a likeable guy as well. So obviously we're talking about John, not about you two. No, but so is there any other bands in the bill that you're also looking forward to seeing?
Oh yeah, obviously we're playing the same day as Vice, so it'd be good to catch up with those guys. We haven't seen them since Wildfire, I don't think.
Cool.
Ravage Inc. for me. I really want to see those guys live. Not seen them.
Do you know what? I've interviewed quite a number of bands for Badgerfest, and quite a lot of them are saying Ravage Inc.
Yeah,
they're they're so good. The music is just amazing. Just love them.
I've interviewed them as well. They're a great bunch of guys, so I'm looking forward to seeing them as well.
Cool.
But Badgerfest, like you say, it's just growing year on year, and also we've got the added bonus now of that it's sold out. So hopefully things going the way that they're going, you're actually going to play to a full capacity audience, and it's just.
I mean, that would be amazing. Like to play to a sold out obviously gig is. It's not something that we get to do that often.
Yeah.
But so to be able to play to a full room in Badgerfest that's going to be amazing.
Yeah. One thing I will say, I think it's Manchester in general. I think Manchester has embraced its music scene a little bit more than Liverpool. Not to say Liverpool's bad, but the gigs we do in Manchester, even though it's only 40 minutes away, it's taking me longer to get to work some mornings. The crowd just seems to be more.
If they're more into it. They just
and bigger. Liverpool's become a very hard place to get crowds out to.
Yeah. It's the same. It's the same up here. You've got Glasgow and Edinburgh. See, if you do come up and do a UK tour or something like that, you've obviously got Glasgow. Most of the tours go to Glasgow, but I would also recommend Edinburgh, places like Bannerman's or Banshee Labyrinth. But also, I would even go further north. See Aberdeen, they're just screaming out for gigs, and they're always well attended. Really? So if you ever do come up, I mean, there's Dundee and Perth as well, who do have a scene. But really, Aberdeen, Edinburgh, and Glasgow are the places to go in Scotland. You always got a good crowd. So
love to, absolutely. We've got Scottish blood in us, so we would absolutely love to head up there.
I knew you were good guys. So going back to Badgerfest then, so how did you get on the bill? Like, did John see you guys live and come up to you, or did you apply, or how did that happen?
No, I'm sure we applied.
I think we did apply. Like we've known John for
a little while,
for a couple of years at least, through gigs here and there.
It was their Thursday night live at Grand Central.
Yeah, I think we did. I think it was only only fair for us to apply, same as every other band.
Yeah.
So and he gave us the shot to jump on.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There you go. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Legend.
For the last couple of years, I've been wanting to come down, but this year I'm coming down. What we're going to be doing is there's a team of us, and we're going to be in the bar, obviously. But we're going to do live interviews as well.
Okay.
So this might not, well, this, when I say might, this will not be the last time that we talk to you. So we're coming down with the squad as well. I'm also part of, which is launching tomorrow night, Moshville Radio.
Oh, right, okay. Cool.
Any of the new stuff that you've got that's ready, you now got my email address, send it to me and you'll get airplay as well.
Brilliant.
So we're spreading the word, but yeah, I'm very much looking forward to seeing you guys down at Badgerfest.
Yeah, looking forward to you too.
Cool. But I'm maybe showing my age a wee bit here. But before the internet, magazines and fanzines were the places to find out about new bands and trends, but now publications have been replaced with thousands of websites catering for all genres. So do you think that some of the passion's been lost, or do you think that the internet has been a good thing for music and a good thing for scare tactics?
I think it's only been a good thing. Yeah, I don't really see any negatives to the internet. Don't get me wrong, magazines and everything have their place, but the way society's gotten and the way everyone is just living through, like, their phones now, everything's in your hand. I don't know how that can be a bad thing for musicians. Yeah, so you put a magazine in a shop now, you've only got access to the people who go into that shop and look at it. If you put it online, everyone in the world. So it's only a good thing for the internet. Maybe the passion of going out and looking for things, I guess, has died down a little bit, where it's just scrolling. Oh, there's something. Oh, there's another thing. So in that respect, yeah. But for people to get access to your music or whatever, yeah. I think people who are passionate about the hunt side of it. Yeah. I don't think the internet will stop them doing that. Like I've got a friend who's an avid vinyl collector, and he'll go to 2-3 secondhand back. He still loves the hunt. The internet's not stopped it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a double-edged sword. I mean, I've got tapes in there and 1 or 2 vinyl and stuff, but I just like the days where it was like £1 and you would send it in an envelope, and a couple of days later you get like a demo tape and you would listen to it, but you open it as well, you get a letter from the band saying thanks very much, and you might get a couple of stickers or whatever like that, and you get the tape and you listen to it and you're like, don't know if I like it, but because you've invested in it, you'll listen to it again, give them a proper chance. Whereas now, as you guys say, you can go on your phone, go on Spotify, listen to this 10 seconds, I don't like the riff. Next band, 10 seconds, I don't. There's millions of people that are doing the same thing. Yeah, I mean, with Legion, obviously, you have to go on the streaming services, and you've got to go on the digital sites, but we did a hard copy as well for that reason, because myself, we do this ourselves. If we play with a band we like, we will buy a CD. Yeah, we've got stacks of band CDs we played with, because one supports the band, and it's like a piece of memorabilia. I think if you're that way inclined, the internet shouldn't have stopped that. The only way that will be stopped is if the band doesn't produce a hard copy of their music. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's an argument I've had with some of my mates over a pint for I don't know how long. It usually ends up in bloodshed as well. But I mean, I grew up in an age when the CDs should be burned, but I think vinyl outsold CDs for the first time in decades, so. Yeah, it has. It's come back in a crazy way, and there's loads of current bands that are just doing it on vinyls now, like special editions, and they're flying out. Even cassettes. I've seen limited runs of cassettes. Who has a cassette player anymore? Well, that's not that as well, but I got one from Argos for $29.99, so that's me got them back out again. I mean, I still got my Iron Maiden Number of the Beast, and it's like yellow. But listen, guys, we're quite lucky because, as I said, it's 1-on-1, so we've got unlimited time. So just as well, because this is the time where we talk about the instruments that you play, you're going to be using for the recording. So we may as well get the show off to go first. So Andy, what guitar? What guitar and everything do you use? My go-to brand is Ibanez. Always has been. Probably always will be. I do have a couple of other guitars that I will probably use in the studio. I've got I've got like a Dime Slime, so that's got a really high action to it, really high really high attack sound, really high gain on it. So that's really good for the solos.
I may invest in a new guitar before we get in there. I haven't quite decided what it'll be. It may be Ibanez. I may verge into maybe like a Charvel, or I don't know, maybe something a little bit more pricey.
So what is it about the Ibanez then? Is it the sound that you get from it that you've always liked?
It's the sound, it's the playability. Yeah, I mean, I even just like the look of them as well. They're great. I've always been into them ever since I started my first guitar lessons, and he was using an Ibanez to teach me, and that just kind of hooked me into it. And all my favorite players use them. We've got Steve Vai and Satriani, the guys from Korn, like
Gilbert.
I got the Ibanez, and I've stuck with them ever since, really.
Is it a 6 or 7 string?
I mostly use 6. I do have a 7 string, but I'm still not quite confident enough just with that extra string. It's quite a little bit difficult, but I'll get there.
If you play with 7, you're just showing off anyway.
Exactly.
So what pedals do you use and what amps do you use?
I'm currently using a Laney VH100R. It's great. It's big. It's noisy. It's got a bunch of channels, so I can move between the clean really easy and the heavy really easy. Pedals, I'm not really a big pedal guy. I'd like to almost reduce my rig as it is now. I've got the wah pedal and I've got like a solo booster, but other than that, I don't really need much more.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy with just what I've got, really.
So if you're going out on like a 6-10 day tour or something like that, would you take the two guitars with you then?
I would definitely be taking 2 guitars. Yeah. Yeah, possibly 3. Yeah. Maybe 4. No, just 3. I'd probably take 3. Yeah, definitely.
Still the yellow in your Explorer type one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is it because you keep on breaking the strings, or is it because you keep on doing like a Nirvana and smashing it off the floor, or?
Wash your heathen mouth.
Honestly, it's because of the different tunings. So most of my Ibanez are they've all got floating trems, so they're all fixed, locked in tunings. So we diverge from the drop D stuff and the E stuff. So I always have to have that separate guitar anyway. So that's ultimately the reason. And I just have one for spare in case the string breaks and I need to just flip it over, which annoyingly does happen sometimes. You can't avoid that.
Yeah, cool. Also, with you being the vocalist, have you went through a number of microphones until you're finally happy with the one that you're currently using just now? Or do you just play with whatever's in front of you?
I mean, yeah, literally,
for gigging, you've never taken a mic, have you?
No, not really. I've never really looked into enough what would suit me for a singer, I guess. I've always just kind of, if you can hear my voice through it, that's good enough. So I suppose I could look into more useful things, or look more into what mics are better. I did get a really good microphone for a gift a couple of years ago off the family chart. I used that for practices. I should take it to gigs as well, but I don't know. It's one of those old retro ones where you've got like this big.
Yeah.
But just for gigging side, the SM58s that most venues use, they're fine.
They're industry standard because they work.
No issues with them.
To be honest with you, that's the one that everyone's been saying. The SM57 and 58, that's what everyone's saying. So, no, that's absolutely brilliant. Thanks very much for that, Andy. Listen, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Oh, sorry, Stuart. Sorry. I forgot about the drummer there. I forgot about the drummer, as most bands do anyway.
We all do.
So go on, Stuart. Tell me your setup then.
I've got a lot of drums. I've probably got 3 kits I could run independently at any one time. All the hardware, all cymbals, but primarily I'm a Tama drums guy, and for very much the same reasons Andrew has for his Ibanez. All my heroes played them: Lars Ulrich, Vinnie Paul for a time, Mario Duplanter, Roy Mayo. All the guys I love play Tama drums. I played my first gig on a Tama drum kit. I just love them. I worked in drum retail for nearly 10 years as well. So I've played everything. I went over to the States in 2005 to the NAMM show, where all the people showed that. I went to that and played fucking everything that was there, and I kept coming back around to the Tama booth. It's just like And that year, I was lucky enough to be able to order a custom Tanner kit. So to my specs, stuff that's not in the catalogue, and yeah, that's my baby. That's what gets recorded.
Yeah.
You almost don't want to play it so you don't damage it.
Oh, she's got battle scars, but it just so she's been through the wars.
He doesn't let anyone else play it.
No.
But that's what I was going to ask you. Like, it's all right for Andy to take 3 guitars with him, but you can't take 3 sets of drums with you.
No, to be fair, I mean, the last time I actually had to take a kit to a gig was probably about 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Just because for feasibility.
Where was that?
That was the wrestling gig.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that was last time I took my kit, and it's purely because there's either a house kit or a headline band will provide it, and you just can't swamp a venue with drums. It's just not practical.
Yeah. Most venues are you just can't take again your own kit because there's just no room in most places.
Yeah. As much as I'd love to have my own kit for every gig, it's just I'd also rather not lug it across the country as well. If there's a house kit, I will play it.
So see the snare sound that you had on the debut album then, are you changing the snares for the EP and going forward, or are you keeping the same sound?
It really depends on who we record with. Tom, the guy who did the last one, I took probably 4 snare drums with me. And the studio had a bunch as well. And the same snare drum got used on all but one track. Because it just worked. I love that. And it wasn't even me who chose it. I thought I got this really like deep dark wood snare drum. I thought, this will sound great. And Tom just goes, no, we're using the metal one. Sounded brilliant. We're using it for fucking everything. Tuned it up really high. I've never really liked a highly tuned snare. I like to tune it kind of medium high.
Yeah.
And he got me to crank it. And I've always been worried about doing that in case I choke it. But this shell I've got, it's magical. That's what I've gigged with that drum for about 11 years now. I've not gigged with anything else.
Yeah.
It's that drum that got recorded.
Yeah. Cool. And what drumsticks do you use?
Table legs, basically. The biggest drumsticks I can buy without getting someone else's name on them is what I use. They're oak sticks made by a company called Promark, just because they last longer than anything else.
Yeah.
So I worked in a drum shop for 9 years and tried everything that we could get in this country, and they're the only ones that will last me any discernible amount of time.
Well, stop hitting your drum kit so hard then.
She deserves it.
The girl.
She talks back.
Well, listen, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. So,
yeah, you too.
Where we will find Scare Tactics on social media then?
Yeah, you'll find Scare Tactics on Facebook /Scare Tactics Band UK. The best place to go is our website. That's got all our social media links on it. So it's just www.scaretacticsband.com. Go through there. You'll find all our music on streaming sites, our shop, all the social media links. Yeah, that's the best landing page.
Yeah, that's excellent, guys. Listen, like I say, we'll definitely get you in for the interview again, probably after you played your set. Well, I'm sure that will share a beer or two as well. But it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys. And I look forward to seeing you at the gig.
Yeah,
Thank you
see you.
very much.
Cheers, guys. Thanks.